Welcome to Dweeb Culture Reviews on Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, Episode 3 and 4, Episode Reaction. Stick around. What is going on, Dweeb Culture Rights? This is Michael, as always, and joining me today, as always, are Mitch.
I didn't like that, but yeah. Hi guys, how's it going?
And Cole.
What's up, guys? Cole here.
Don't like the Dweeb Culture Rights?
we can figure something else out.
Fellow dweebs, maybe just keep it nice and simple.
Nice around dweeb culture.
There you go. Anyway, we are reviewing today episode 3 and 4 of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. We did not upload episode 3 last week. We had some scheduling conflicts, so we're gonna do.
Let's just tell it how it is. Michael and Cole showed up to the party.
Mitch took a nap.
Mitch fell asleep.
And Mitch, because we record these very late at night, and so Mitch just dozed off and he didn't wake up, and we called and called and called and called and called, and he did not wake up. So we ended up calling his wife, and his wife woke him up.
Yep.
And
and
it was too late by that point.
Well, we still recorded. Only D was with us, his wife, and it was just a totally different conversation. Anyway,
she doesn't like these shows. She's actually watched all of them with me, and she asked me about characters that the show introduced. Like, I have some encyclopedic knowledge of this show beyond the episodes. I'm like, hey, I'm right here with you. I don't know. That's what happened. I don't know. We're figuring it out.
There we go. We are all on this journey together. All right. So I think Mitch is going to start us off. We're going to very quickly go over the recap for episode 3, because episode 4 is where a lot of things happen, and episode 3 was just mostly exposition. So Mitch is going to take us away on episode 3.
And with that too, I mean, this is our finale episode where we're concluding this presumably first season, maybe the only season though that we get of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. So episode 3, if you'll remember from the end of episode 2, we left off with Shenmae fleeing from Leon after Leon had just shot Jason in the apartment where they had armed themselves. And we get this little run scene through Shanghai. But before that, the episode opens with Claire investigating the home of the last member of Jason's elite squad. I can't remember their names. Yeah, something like that. The Mad Dogs or something like that.
The Mad Dogs, yeah.
So she's investigating the last member, and we see as she's going through, I mean, some major classic Resident Evil vibes, the haunted house vibes, as she's coming into the house here with the flashlight. Everything's filthy and just all over the place.
Just like the video games.
Yeah, there was a major. This was kind of our major nostalgic callback to the video game. Specifically for me, it reminded me of number 7, which I was just playing not too long ago, actually. But
there's a headless corpse everywhere.
That's what we have to get to. She finds that soldier that she was trying to investigate, and it seems that he's taking a shotgun to his own head. But just prior to this, she follows a trail of spent needles all the way to the body, and we don't yet know what these are, but that of course gets clarified by the end of this episode. So we find out that Shenmae in China has fled, because, just to preface, and you guys have all seen this too, this episode's entirely exposition. It just bounces between Claire and her investigation, and then Leon finding out about Shenmae and Jason and what their ultimate plan was. So Shenmae has fled to her family. Leon followed her. Not too much action here. It just kind of gets right into it. You kind of find out the motive of Shenmae and Jason, their connection when they first met, how it involves a member of Jason's team who was Shenmae's brother. And he's the one in the body bag from the episode prior that was still, not alive, infected, but zombified and infected.
And he's been infected.
Yes. And he still is being kept. I guess you could say
Alive.
alive. He's still infected. He's there at Shenmei's family home.
Yeah, he's
in
kind of
Shanghai.
alive but sedated. It kind
Yeah,
of
and
seems.
Yeah,
they
they're spending
said
millions on keeping him alive and trying to find a cure,
yes,
but no avail.
and they talk about the inhibitor, and that's really where we get back to kind of figuring out what happened with Claire's investigation, what all of those needles were on the ground. So the soldiers, the American soldiers, are all infected. Right? At least not all the soldiers, but of Jason's team. They're all infected.
The Mad Dogs.
And they take the inhibitor serum to suppress their transformation. But upon death, they would rise, which is what happened in Panam Stan, which we saw at the very beginning of the very first episode, where they had the corpses of the American soldiers, and after they were already killed, they turned, they attacked, and the big fallout of the Panam Stan Civil War, which was not a civil war. It happens to actually be another Raccoon City type incident that really took over a large part of the country. And that's kind of what's revealed through this episode. I mean, it's a lot of bouncing between Claire and the police that she calls and notifies of that suicide. How Jason is the last member of his team that is, well, so far we thought dead, but we find out to be alive. And really, Shenmei and Leon kind of bounce back and forth between why Shenmei and Jason are doing what they're doing, why they've turned rogue from the American government, what they hope to reveal to the world, which is kind of their main thing, is they want to reveal to the world, what happened in Panam Stan, and as we'll see in episode 4, the terror of the virus, the T-virus.
And then so that episode ends with Claire getting kidnapped as she's walking into the house. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I believe she's at her own apartment, somebody else comes in, right? And she attacks him. She attacks him, but then loses, and that's how the episode concludes. So it's just a lot of exposition, but it does reveal to us a lot of what's going on that we've already been kind of speculating about before this.
Yeah.
And that the head, Secretary of Defense or something, is behind this whole conspiracy.
Wilson.
Supposedly. Yep. Yeah, Wilson.
And then we open up into episode 4 at the White House. We know that the president is now going to give a briefing and kind of pretty much declare war on China because he thinks China was the one that hacked in and released the zombies and whatnot. And we skip to Claire being kidnapped, where the villain, which is Wilson, the Secretary of State, the Defense Secretary, somebody important.
Along those lines.
Somebody important. Where he does is a classic super villain speech where he just kind of lays out all the plans to Claire, who's kidnapped.
Yeah. He didn't waste any time,
no, he got right into it. Yeah, he got right into it, and the ultimate thing in his eyes is he wanted to create super soldiers. He wanted to create an army. Yeah, he wanted to make that money. He wanted to create an army of super soldiers that all were dependent on his serum or inhibitor, and he would make money that way. And the USA would have a super soldier army, and it's a win-win, right? That's the plan. That was the plan. And then we do see that Jason is now alive, and everyone brushed over that fact so quick. Because that was a defining thing that happened in episode 2 was Leon, the shot.
Yes, and Leon didn't really stick around to check on Jason, so I actually don't fault him for being like, oh, he survived through this, especially if Shenmei reveals that he was infected by the virus. For us, that's a big thing because we saw him shot in the heart and he died.
I think the viewers all assumed he was dead.
Yes. We stuck on screen. There was a good 2 seconds where you saw his dead eyes. He didn't move his eyes at all. He had the shot in the heart. He was donezo.
And there's this very odd situation of so far everybody that we've seen that's died while infected has come back as a zombie, and he comes back as just alive. That's it. Things get a little weird in this episode. Things get a little
Things
weird.
do
in
get
this
a little
episode.
wonky. Things do get a little wonky. Especially
COVID.
when you're looking at I got my shot. Don't worry about it. Especially when you're looking at the what the actual structure and what the actual plot of the story is. So we'll continue here. Jason decides that he wants to expose this this whole infection. He wants to expose the government for what it was. He's mad at Wilson. He's mad at everybody. And then so he decides that he's not going to take the inhibitor. He's going to turn, and he ends up killing Wilson. And his goal is to expose this whole underground to the public. And he wants
in a very irrational way.
Well, he wants to do that by basically tanking the whole operation and then walking into the public so that all the eyes can see him and see that he's a monster. And
they
this
will
puts
know
him at
terror. That was his
they
whole
will
thing
know
over
terror.
and over again.
He kept repeating that. And then, but his motivation was drastically different than Leon's motivation, who, you know, wanted the whole thing tanked and wanted it to be exposed to the public. Oh, wait, no, I guess they had the same motivation. So why did they fight to the death is my question.
Well,
just because
one of them
show himself.
Jason was thinking unclearly because he was infected, and he's like, I just want everyone to see me, and that's how they'll find out.
And
like, no, we have
Leon's,
this disc.
and Leon's thing was, no, don't let them see you. I have a disc.
Yeah.
And that was worth killing each other over and being like, you know, that was the biggest difference there.
Yes, yes, because Leon's
killing
like,
the girl too. She's
hey,
like,
dude,
I don't want you to die.
There
It's
are
like,
children out there. They will get scared.
No.
Show them this disc instead.
Leon was just like, hey, we can reveal this without releasing the virus. Jason's like, no. They have to see me turn in the Hulk, okay?
Well, Jason didn't want to release. Jason didn't want to release the virus.
He was the virus and wanted to be released. The Hulk.
He wanted to be released. They would shoot him dead, and allegedly the virus would go away because he couldn't infect anybody.
I mean, I'm thinking he wants to then kill people to instill terror. Being
that's
Shenmae,
a big jump. He never said that.
Hey, Shenmae, his accomplice, and he's all like,
say that like I'm already dead. So he wants to go out with a bang.
I love you too, Shenmae. Ah!
Yeah, okay, but that was well after they were all fighting already. I'm talking about like there was very easy resolution to this before they started fighting. They had very similar goals. I feel like they could have found a middle ground.
For sure.
No. I think that, I mean, yes, I would say that Leon's the more rational middle ground, but then we're getting back, and our longtime fans are going to understand this reference. We're getting back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where Falcon actually agrees with everything that the terrorist people are doing, just doesn't like the way they're doing it. Well, here you go. Leon actually agrees with Jason, but Jason's gone all crazy. No, I have to release it, and everybody's going to know terror.
So Leon's objection was that he didn't want the public to see Jason.
Well,
I'm
just
not
the
sure
excuse
because they both wanted
to
to destroy the facility. They both wanted the facility gone.
Yes.
So the fight was about literally him going out to the public versus not going out to the public.
So Jason's transformation is followed immediately by Slaughter. I don't quite think that
it was
just
followed
going
immediately by Slaughter because Leon pinned him up as an enemy.
No, the gun bullets weren't doing anything. He decided to kill the Secretary of State. He decided to try and kill Leon, and he decided to kill Shenmae.
Leon was the one that shot him.
It wasn't doing anything to him.
Jason had zero. It doesn't matter if it wasn't doing anything to him.
Yes, it does. He decided, I'm going to kill these people, and I'm going to go out. Then he's probably going to slaughter more people.
Jason decided, hey, I want to tank this thing. He goes up to the top and starts destroying the complex. Meanwhile, what's that?
He was trying to escape. He was trying to escape out the top.
That's okay, fine. Sure,
go out and expose himself.
Meanwhile, when Jason specifically had the opportunity to kill them or at least attack them, he didn't. He turned around to get out of there, and then Leon shoots him in his back multiple times. Yeah, I'd be a little mad if I were Jason at that point.
You have to remember that Jason.
Leon's the one that escalated.
Jason and Shenmae already released the virus in two different places. They did want to release the virus. They released it in the White House, and they released it on the submarine.
So your contention is that Jason wanted to release the virus to the
Yes,
public.
that he wanted to release the virus to the public so
I
that
did
they
not
saw it
get
firsthand and got scared from it.
all I got from that was that he wanted the public to know. He wanted them to know what true fear looks like. Because at one point he even said he wants to get rid of all this. He doesn't want this to happen to anybody ever again. That's literally what he said.
I'm leaning towards Michael's side in that his
Thank
plan
you.
was just to expose himself. Because keep in mind, the press conference was going on at the same time all this other stuff was going on. So his plan was to expose himself in front of the cameras and the public and say, "Look what they did. I'm going to bring
Yeah.
truth to them this way."
Exactly.
While Leo and Shenmae
And
were
create
like, "No,
war,
we have
though,
the
right? That was the
we
other
have the
thing, is
disc."
that he wanted to reveal this in a way that would create war between China and the U.S.
That would scare
Mm.
them. I don't know. I guess the moral of the story
Because that's
is
that's
don't.
what gets stopped at the end, right? Is the
Yeah.
declaration of war?
Well, yeah, but the declaration of war gets stopped because
Regardless.
Leon gave the Secret Service agent information that it was Wilson that did it,
Yes.
not China.
Internal,
But
and
that
not
wouldn't have
related to China.
changed. That wouldn't have changed whether Jason went out or not.
Yeah. I would say
It
this
only
whole episode
changed
was
because
so
Leon
fast. It was so
released that
fast
info.
paced that there's not a whole lot to interpret. Well, there's a lot to interpret, but not a whole lot to go off
It's
on.
not super solid. That's
Yeah.
true.
No.
I don't know. I would say, I mean, Leon shot Jason in the back multiple times. So I
Yeah, he
don't
did
know.
that to just get his attention. And was like, "Hey,
He did
no,
not do
we
that
have
to
the
get his
disc."
attention. He tried to kill him. You don't shoot somebody in the back
Yeah,
17
it
Hey,
wasn't
times.
working, though. He was the
He
Hulk.
knows that headshots get him. That's the only way to get him. He could have shot him in the head.
Also,
but he didn't.
More virus turns you into the Hulk?
Yeah, well,
Apparently
when you're
so.
a super soldier.
This
I
is
guess.
this is T virus mixed with gamma rays.
Yeah.
So you turn into the
Crazy.
But
The
in any case,
G-virus.
so as the viewer can see, the ending, the finale, the final episode was a little bit sloppy.
Yeah.
It was a little bit it was up to interpretation. Either they were on the same side. If they weren't on the same side, they were close to the same side. And if they weren't close on the same side, they didn't make it clear that they were not on the same side. And it ended up just being very sloppy at the end, which is kind of disappointing because it was actually a pretty solid series up until this point.
This series could have really benefited from being 6 episodes instead of 4.
Yeah.
Right? Those 2 more episodes of time to kind of fill in the gaps to really make a solid plot, because ultimately what happens is the first 2 episodes are strong. It's kind of building like it would be a slow progression, but then out of nowhere they're like, "Oops, we're out of time." So
Let's
episode 3
speed
we're
this
explaining
thing up
everything.
fast.
Episode 4 is the showdown, and that part in particular, like 4 short episodes, 4 half-hour episodes, was not really long enough to like create a connection to Shenmae. So she gets her head ripped around, and I laughed. I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But I didn't care about this character at all, because it was so freshly introduced. You don't really understand her plight. Her brother is literally never shown, so you don't really I mean, like his zombie version, but you never see anything with her and her brother. It becomes so removed that you're like, I guess, okay, a brother's infected, I guess, and her wealthy family is like the royal family of China or something. Like it was just kind of odd, but a lot of fun action. It definitely gave me major vibes from the games, because this is what it is, right? This was Nemesis. That's who Jason became, the villain of Nemesis, the ultimate hulking virus zombie that's not really a zombie, but he has intelligence beyond kind of what the other zombies did. I kind of expected like and we kind of got it with him too in the beginning. I kind of expected like a Wesker moment for Jason, where he was gonna do some like Matrix bullet dodging or whatever, but they went the Nemesis route. It was cool. Still, he could jump around and he was super strong. But
And at the end, we got a picture of what's that main evil guy with the sunglasses in the movies and video games.
Wesker.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wesker.
Yeah. That's who we saw at the
That's who
very
you
end, right?
played. That's who you played in the
Yeah,
video
yeah.
that we shot.
Yeah. Mhm. And
Oh,
that's who
speaking
I
of which,
assume we saw when Willis was getting the vaccine thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So he
that
didn't die.
short
Yeah.
cutscene, yeah.
couple of cool shout outs. The scene where Leon shoots off Jason's arm with a shotgun,
Yeah.
but Jason just kept going forward and
Yep.
acted like it didn't even phase him. That was super sick. Also a quick question. So Jason is like basically impenetrable, right? He has all, he's bulletproof skin, blah blah blah, can super jump, but his heart is right out
Well,
open in the
I
middle.
know.
And
So
Get that heart.
so
I mean, you can do
my
headshots
my
all day.
wife
but you can't
actually
get that
said
heart.
like,
there, she
poke the
goes,
heart and he can die.
oh, you have to shoot him there. I said, that's your video game brain talking. That
Yep,
would be
that's
the
right.
weak point to aim for. Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not to mention, where did Leo, right?
Leon.
Leon, where did he get all these weapons offhand really fast? Like,
They
was a
were in his
government
inventory. Haven't you
facility.
ever
Yeah,
played
they-
Resident
oh
Evil?
yeah,
Yeah.
you just had to press X and
Yeah.
pull it up, right?
Yeah.
And I like when he pulls out the
Why
bazooka.
switch
And he
his
goes,
buttons?
I like how when he pulls out the bazooka, he goes, "Hello, sexy." Also, real quick, let's talk about the end scene where Leon just straight up refuses to give her the chip. Like, what the was that about?
Yeah,
I
is he planning
think-
on blackmailing the president?
No.
Or like,
My understanding from this whole thing was, while Leon wanted the government to be responsible and to not practice the actions, he did not
didn't
want
wanna
to create
expose
war.
them?
That was his big thing,
Mhm.
because that's ultimately what they talk about in episode 3 is Jason and Shenmae want to expose the government, and he says this will create war because Panam stands on the Chinese border. All these people were killed from this, and there's going to be a huge fallout. Jason and Shenmei are saying, well, this needs to happen. People need to know, and whatever the consequences are, they are. And then ultimately at the end, Leon is kind of the loyal soldier.
handling
Hey,
with care.
this is what actually happened. Handle it internally as with the
Mhm.
president, and not blowing it up to the public. And maybe that's really the reason why he stopped Jason. Maybe he wanted to see if it could be handled all internally, and Jason wanted to start World War III.
Yeah.
All right.
Basically.
So challenge for our dweeb culture fans out there. If we get 5 comments below, from people that we don't know, if we get 5 comments
I don't
below
know anybody.
asking us to put up our college Resident Evil video that we made, we will post the Resident Evil video we made to this channel. Just takes 5 comments down below, and
I
it,
was the
cannot be any
cameraman
of
on
us.
it, right?
You were the cameraman on
Okay,
it. So
that's right.
I was Leon, and
Uh-huh.
Cole was Wesker, and we have about a 5-minute video. It's an action sequence.
I think you were Chris Redfield. I don't think you were Leon.
Oh, I was Chris Redfield. You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
brother.
So if we get some comments down below, we'll post it. But we got to know you guys want to see it before we post it.
Oh man,
I might have to
wanna
watch that
see
right
it.
after this.
I haven't seen it in 10 years.
And we'll do some visual enhancements to it too. We'll make it we'll make it blockbuster ready.
Mhm.
All right, guys.
But anyway,
5
guys, all
comments,
right, so let's
people.
go ahead. This video is getting kind of long, so let's wrap it up in just a few words. Mitch, let's go ahead and hear your overall
review.
rating of the
'Cause
show.
That's what we do. Review. Dweeb
That's right.
reviews. Off to a very strong start, and the ending was rushed. I enjoyed it, but on our scale, based on the other things that we've been reviewing, I can't give this series as a whole more than a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's about a 70%, a C- for me. Other things, I think there's things about it that showed a lot of promise, were really strong. If there's a second season, I'm definitely going to watch it. But I just, it leaves a lot kind of unanswered, and it left me personally wanting more from it.
How about you, Cole?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd say that this this show was made for fun,
Mhm.
based solely aimed at the video game, movie watcher
The fans.
base.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just made for fun, and it was fun to watch for sure. But yeah, just the last episode went by too quickly, moving by too many things, not getting in much depth as you would like. So I would give a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of probably right in between you guys. I'm probably leaning a little bit more toward Mitch because the first 3 episodes were very good. Those were definitely getting solid 7.5s, but the last episode and the plot wrap up really hurt this thing.
Yeah.
And so that dropped it down to a 7, maybe even a little bit less.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, everything, all the things down below.
Do all the things. Do all of them.
Do all the things.
Do it
definitely
now.
make sure you leave a comment if you do want to see that Resident Evil clip that we do have. Yeah, we appreciate watching. And until next time, live long and may the force be with you.
Later, guys.
Later.